A message blinked into her morning like a thrown stone. One of her followers had found something in a dumpster. The note said, "Small, wet, helpless." She felt the pull before she saw the pictures, a tiny face swollen, a mouth bruised by teeth marks, eyes half closed as if the world were too heavy to look at. The image lodged behind her ribs and would not let go. She drove without thinking where she was going, hands tense on the wheel until the follower's directions led her to an alley that smelled of rust and old cardboard. The puppy lay curled inside a discarded box, no louder than a rag. Up close, the injuries looked worse than the photo, swelling puckered around the mouth, the skin reddened and raw, a thin leg bent at an unnatural angle. She scooped the bundle into her arms and expected the little body to scream or flinch. There was nothing at first, no whimper, no thud of a heart noticeable above the thunder of her own. That first 24 hours taught her how brittle hope could be. The puppy made no sound, no demand, no show of life beyond the faint rise and fall beneath damp fur. She set the animal in a snug box to see if it could stand. "Can you try to stand up?" she murmured to a thing that had been given no practice at being a dog. A wobble, a tiny shuffle, then a limp. Her chest dropped. The vet's hands were gentle but decisive. A small cast appeared, tight and white against the bruised skin. She hated that the cast would have to be there, hated the evidence of violence it confirmed. Yet the sight of that tiny plastered leg made something in her ache with a curious tenderness. She named her Junie because the name slipped out like sunlight. The first morning after the cast, Junie wagged her tail an inch, so small it might have been a trick of the light, but the woman felt as if a bell had rung. There was no triumphant leap, no instant leap to love. Trust, she learned, arrived in inches. Day by day, a slow census of small victories accrued, the first lick at a hand, the first time Junie made a sound that was more than pain, a tentative bark that startled them both when she shuffled on the bed. The woman discovered that the household's other dogs were tiny midwives of ease. They nudged Junie with wet noses, let her flop against them and test the boundaries of warmth. One of them rolled over, accepting her full weight. Junie collapsed on top of him like a child finding a pillow. If you liked the video, put like and subscribe to the channel, where you will find a lot of interesting things.